A law enforcement official is telling Fox News that Enrique Marquez, friend and neighbor of San Bernardino killers, Syed Farouk and Tashin Malik, is in custody. Marquez allegedly supplied the rifles that were used in the December 2nd attack. Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Napolitano is with me now. Judge, we understand he is in custody. The charges are unspecified, but Marquez checked himself into a mental institution right away. So do you think he knew what was going to happen?
You know, what we have, first of all, good evening, Deirdre. It's always nice to be with you. It's better to be with you in person than remote.
I agree,
but I'm stuck in D.C. today. It's not a bad gig. We don't know what was going through his head, but I'll tell you what we do know. We know that he sang like a bird to the FBI for 2 weeks. 2 weeks of interrogation, in this case relatively amicable interrogation, almost debriefing, is a treasure trove of information that he gave the government. What we don't know is, was a lawyer present? Was the 2 weeks of singing, so to speak, to the FBI pursuant to some kind of an agreement with the government? Or did this guy just decide to do the right thing and spill his guts to the FBI, oblivious to the danger to which he was exposing himself by the words that he gave him? We also know this: he is not in federal custody. He's in state custody. So there exists somewhere in a courthouse, not yet made publicly available, a state charge against him. So he's being held by state authorities until the feds can gather information and indict him, and then he'll be brought before a federal magistrate.
Judge, what is the most strict sentence? And I know there are a lot of moving parts here, but what would be the worst case scenario for him?
Conspiracy to commit mass murder, in which case he would be exposed to the same penalty for which the killers, had they lived, would have been exposed. That's the most serious. And quite frankly, if he had a lawyer, the lawyer would have negotiated away from that. He would have said to the feds, you agree not to prosecute him for the highest and strongest charge you have against him, and he'll talk to you till the cows come home. If this guy did talk to them without any kind of a deal, then the feds can use his own words that he gave to them as evidence for charges and a prosecution against him.
Okay, Judge, I want to shift gears and ask you about Martin Shkreli. He is a man notorious for dramatically increasing the price of a prescription drug by 5,000%. He has been arrested for securities fraud during his time as a hedge fund manager, so it's not really related to increasing that drug price. But federal prosecutors spoke on those so-called Ponzi scheme charges earlier today.
Here's where the Ponzi scheme similarities begin. Shkreli used money from MSNB Healthcare to pay off debts that he incurred from the series of bad trades that he made at MSNB Capital. Now, why did he do that? He did that to conceal the lies that he told to MSNB Capital investors, namely that their investments were doing well and they were getting handsome returns.
So, Judge, it seems as if this could be construed as karma. I mean, this guy has such an interesting story. His parents apparently came here from Croatia. They worked as janitors to put him through school. So it seems as if the nation is a little bit more attuned to his story because he represents the American dream at the same time that he seems to be taking it down. But he's out on a $5 million bond. But with 7 charges against him, he could go away for something like 20 years, right?
Yeah, the highest charge here is securities fraud, which is a 20-year maximum. You know, I read the indictment, and I don't want to gainsay it, but it's basically garden variety. If we didn't have the incident with him involving the 5,000% increase on the medication, we probably wouldn't be spending all this time talking about him. In my opinion, it's not a big deal. It's lower level in terms of the amount of money that was involved, and it's old news. Now, if the government went after him because they don't like what he did in the charges on this medication, that is reprehensible, and the indictment should be dismissed. If they went after him because they really have evidence of criminal behavior on his part, well, then that's what the government is supposed to do.
Well, I was wondering, too, Judge, to your point, if he just didn't create a lightning rod situation for himself. I mean, he was online all the time. I guess we have a video from YouTube where he's playing the guitar, he's playing chess, he's going through online dating profiles. There's the video we're showing people now. For some reason, his hand is on his head. But it seems as if he's called a lot of attention to himself.
Well, I mean, what you're showing in the YouTube video is nothing different than what we see in YouTube videos of all kinds of people. He drew attention to himself by the cold, cavalier attitude that he showed about the increase in the 5,000% increase in the cost of this pill. He agreed to reduce it, and then he rescinded the agreement. Now, that behavior is morally reprehensible, but it's lawful, and it can't form the basis of a criminal prosecution. If that caused the feds to decide to look for something else with which to go after him, that too taints their prosecution of him. We don't know the answers to that. The case against him, as I said, seems weak and garden variety,
well, that's
and
why
it'll
we like to judge.
it'll be tested in the courts.
Clarity is our purpose. You help us with that. I want to